Welcome to Wall Street Confidential, the show we give you the inside story as to what's really happening on Wall Street. Here's your final two. I'm Greg Greenberg. This is Jim Cramer. We got the end of the quarter on Friday. I want to talk about something. Since this is Wall Street Confidential, is there such a thing as window dressing?
Yes, there is. And I sigh because when I talk about what goes on behind the scenes, obviously there are people who don't want that to be talked about. People don't want to talk about the notion of trying to generate performance. People want to talk about the notion that they're just buying aggressively. But yes, window dressing does happen.
But people talk about it as though that investors really need to see the stock at the 52-week high when they get their quarterly statement.
Well, they want to show that they own winners.
But the investors really look at those statements? Or is that more for the
boards of directors?
Okay.
Boards of directors do. And remember, the key process here is in marking up. And again, I want to really temper my words here because when I talk about what really goes on, nobody wants to know. But there are lots of people, lots of funds, and I do not condone this. I think it's horrible. I didn't do it, who move stocks aggressively on the last day of the quarter.
All right, let's talk about some stocks that people might want to have in there. Yesterday's 52-week high list had some interesting things. In luxury names, Sotheby's, Coach, Movado.
These are all winning stocks. Sotheby's is a great way to play inflation because that's trinkets. You know, that's stuff that is anti. If you believe there's terrible inflation, you want to be long a company that does high-end auctions. Coach, Lou Frankfurt has consistently delivered, and that's a likely candidate to be marked up. I do not condone marking up, and I think the people who do it should be prosecuted. Movado is going to have an excellent quarter, I believe, and it's got a very low multiple. I would buy that stock. They report this week.
Drugs. Abbott, Baxter, King. These names you don't normally hear. Usually
Abbott
the
is
Pfizer's,
just
Merck's.
Abbott. Ever since they sold the diagnostic, their heavyweight equipment division, this stock has just been on a tear. It's obvious that they've got the best stent too. Baxter is just in a sweet spot. They have been just consistently delivering great numbers. Don't know, King.
All right. Some more 52-week highs, which we might see bought by Friday. Utilities. Dominion. First Energy, Con Ed, right here in New York.
First Energy not as bad as it used to be. Con Ed's got that great yield versus Treasuries. People keep talking about how Treasuries have been really bad. They've been trading 4.546, 4.546. I think people are sweating the program there. Con Ed's got a really good dividend that obviously has a real good tax situation, as we know from dividends. Dominion feels like Texas Utilities to me.
And finally, steel. Cleveland Cliffs and U.S. Steel X.
Everyone wants an iron maker. You're seeing tremendous consolidation there. I don't know how Cleveland Cliffs, which is not a big company, stays independent. U.S. Steel has got to be on Arcelor's. They just have to go buy it. They're just too excited, Mittal. I feel like that if you want to play that, the one that still has good valuation, even though it's moved a lot, and I've been behind it, is Reliance Steel, RS.
All right, check out those windows this week. Jim Cramer, Greg Greenberg, Wall Street Confidential. Please come back.